Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken I talk about all things witchy, craft-related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today is Witchy Review. It's Friday, and Witchy Review is basically I'm a witch and I review stuff. No, seriously, that is what it is, but usually something related to witchcraft. So before I get into the actual meat of this whole video, which is Sirens Call. Again, I read most of my books, especially nonfiction, on my Kindle. So Fire here. So anyway, or Amazon Kindle Fire. Anyway, here's the book. Here's the book cover. You saw the thumbnail as well. It's written by Jessica Cage. I'll get into that in just a moment. But before I do, I just want to show you guys something. So I'm in the Whole Foods. The Whole Foods. You can tell I'm old. And when you put the on it. And I found this, check this out. So I was like, what is this, right? Let me get closer. What is this? So this is my sun sign. I'm an Aries. So nature-made crystals to complement your zodiac sign. These crystals have been specially selected as companion stones to your zodiac birthstone. Let me go into this. We suggest you clean and dedicate your stones before use. Hold them under running water, then set in the sun to re-energize. Note, do not get your selenite wet. Selenite cleanses and recharges itself. Do not leave stones in sunlight too long, as some stones will fade with prolonged exposure. Dedicate your stones to their purpose and affirm their intention. You might hold them and say, I dedicate this stone to the highest good and that it be used in love and light. Get to know your stones, carry them with you in your pocket or bag, sleep with them nearby, under your pillow or on a bedside table. Meditate with them, hold them, or place them on your body. Now, I know we talk about witchcraft is taking off, but witchcraft then took off. It completely took off to the point that here we are now. I'm trying to find something to open this with. Here we are now. It comes as plastic, guys. I didn't open it. I waited till now, but check out where we are now. In the world, where it's like, oh yeah, you can just go in the Whole Foods and pick up crystals. This is like crazy. This is or five. Actually, I saw some stuff at Five Below one time. So anyway, and it still has this piece of plastic. But let me go ahead and just show this real quick. So, and they have a handy dandy thing here within the. I don't know what's going on with me, guys. It's the nails. It's the nails. They're too long. Anyway, they have this inside the box, so it breaks down what it is and what it's to be used for. So let me just pull this up. So yeah, let me see. I'm sorry, I was looking for the packaging. Yeah, so this is it. So they gave me a hematite, red jasper, blue onyx, black obsidian, citrine, and carnelian. And it breaks down, for instance, the hematite brings an Aries down to earth, absorbs negative energy when dealing with difficult situations. Need that. Red jasper enhances one's insight and intuition, helps an Aries with thought before action. Blue onyx assists with emotional balance and the trying challenges in life. Why are you making it seem like we got just so many problems? It's not that serious with us, Aries. Helps an Aries listen to your inner voice. All right. The black obsidian helps eliminate negative thought and also eases pain and tension. The citrine helps positive energy flow into the life of an Aries. Warms the heart, gives mental clarity, and helps an Aries accept constructive criticism. Now, you might be right on that. And carnelian resonates with passion, assists an Aries with impatience, temper, motivation, and endurance. So, all in all, I don't think it's bad. By the way, the quality of the crystals, just to let you guys know, check this out. I think this is actually, they're a good size. I'm not upset about this at all. Like, I'm liking this. So, go on over to the Whole Foods and check it out. Now, it was a little pricey. It was a little pricey. It was like 20 something bucks for this, guys. But for the size of the stones, of the crystals, I'm like, all right, it's not too bad. And I thought it was neat. A neat pack. So I got it. So that's that. So I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of that. But let's get to the book. So seriously, though, I just saw for the first time. I've never seen that there before. That's brand new information to me. I was excited, so I purchased it. Hopefully you'll like it as well. So the book. Let me pull that up. Sirens Call. Let's get into this. Okay, again, written by Jessica Cage. It's a series, the Siren series. I'm working on reading book 2. I read this book in a day and a half. I would have read it in a day, but you know, life. And I'm nosing. I want to know if we had a president. Apparently, we still don't have that as the taping of this yet. So for 2021. So I was busy with that, but let me get into this book. Okay. I try to avoid saying things like, oh, I like the book, it was good, because that doesn't really tell you anything. So I'm going to give a couple spoilers, but not too much, so if you want to read more. The cons, I'm going to start with that because it was a blaring thing in the beginning. The character in the book, the main character, Sai, her full name is, I don't know how to say it out loud. I know how to spell. I know how they wrote it in the book. I can't figure out how to actually pronounce it. So we're just going to call her Sai. The main character in the book, Sai, she is walking home. She gets attacked by these strange, men, look like, crack addicts, drug addicts, or what have you. And an incident ensues where it's basically they molest her, And she speaks on being aroused at one of the times where she was being molested by these strange men. Now, I'm going to just full stop right there. Okay, so there's a story to why she would feel aroused. And she's basically, a siren and, the whole thing where, they can, think succubus, siren, they can suck the life force out of men. Okay, that's hopefully you got that from the title a little bit. So that ties in her physical reaction ties into what she will discover about herself shortly into the book. It picks up very quickly. However, just the full stop on the sexual assault situation, that could be triggering as I don't know what to somebody reading this book from the start. You're telling me this person is molesting you, and he was about, he was going in for the full penetration apparently, and then, basically acts of rape, and the author's just, and then the way the character kind of just moves on from it, in my opinion, but her urge to, I guess, have more sex because she's a siren kind of just doesn't really matter. The feeling's overwhelming. So I'm just saying, if you are someone who is sensitive to anything in the realm of sexual assault, that is going to be triggering. I'm working on something myself where I have and it's a trope that you find, especially in romance novels or where there's any level of romance in a book where you see a character, it's not necessarily rape. I haven't read anything where I enjoyed that trope, but more like, it's like a kidnapping or some sort of issue. So it usually turns out to be a mishap that begins at first. But basically, my book is kind of like that. There's what assumed is a kidnapping, and it's really not. It's just a series of mishaps and an impatient person. But my character will eventually fall for the guy who is impatient and so forth. But anyway, I had a hard time getting past that part. For me, that was really difficult to get by. And I just kept reading are you serious? Are we just going to keep going with this? All right, bam, all right. So she wanted, yes, the character wanted revenge, and she was, picking off the various attackers and so forth, using her new powers. My problem, again, is I felt so we just created this character, or the author has created this character who's just annoyingly stubborn in a very annoying way, not in a complex way, in a very annoying way where you're like, girl, I wouldn't even want to, I didn't really like the main character. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to help her. She got on my nerves. I actually disliked her. And one of my problems is when I'm reading a book and I don't like the main character, it's hard for me to want to stay in that book because I just want her to go. I always finish a book. I almost always finish a book. Let me just be clear. But I want to be done with it because I don't want to be in her world anymore. Now, here's where it gets tricky and kind of goes into the pro. Even though I felt that way about this main character, the author did such a good job at the end of making me want to know more. I'm going to go ahead and finish reading book 2. So is it a love to hate situation? Maybe. But I absolutely cannot stand this side character. Like, she annoys me to no end. She's selfish. What to me is written as independent is just selfish. Just and lack of empathy. So my thing is, so I'm trying to understand, okay, so she finds out she's a siren. Why don't we know why doesn't she know she's a siren before then? Maybe I missed that reading it because I read it so quickly, but I didn't feel like enough information was given as to why these things are starting to happen now. Why had she never experienced all these things before? And there's some plot twists in there that I thought was good. You know, it wasn't necessarily expected, right? You know, I didn't catch it. Eventually I realized, you know, we're dropping a couple breadcrumbs and I was like, oh, I think that's what it is. But I didn't quite understand why certain plot twists took place, but I guess I need to read book 2 and I'll get a little bit more detail. There's a love triangle in the midst of this. When I was reading this, you know what it really made me think of? On Netflix, there's a lot of different movies that come from out of Africa. I love the movies. I love those movies. I really do. There are like 50,000 plots. There's most times you watch those movies, there's never one central plot. There's like 4 or 5 different plot points going on where it's like, wait, what is this movie about again? It just throws you, and you're like, I'm thinking the movie's over, and we're about to go into this other part that I forgot about, or maybe I don't know, where did it come from? Reading this, it was like a shorter version of what I see when I watch those movies, or how I feel. I still watch them though because they're juicy. But and the book was sort of juicy, you know. Now about the sex scenes. Honestly, since the first sex scene was the sexual assault situation, kind of threw me, guys, kind of threw me. Yes, there were some hot scenes and I was trying to move my brain off of the sexual assault. I'm like, me as the reader, if I'm still shaken by being assaulted sexually, how is this character not having this same reaction? Because I'm jaded, yet the Sai is not jaded. She seems to continue on, and it, like, there's no correlation to anything. And I'm like, wow. There was a line, I can't remember what it was, and I really wish I would have highlighted, where there was like shortly after everything, it was like the next day or so, in the next few days, the character kind of remarks like, oh, she refused the help, you know, the group help and all that sort of stuff, you know, the things, support. She refused that. She felt like she needed it. And I guess that's character building. Let us know the type of character you're dealing with. That she's stubborn and, you know, hard-headed, and she's fiercely independent. She can handle everything, at least so she thinks. Which, as the book goes on, you know, hopefully, I guess the author's intention was for me to soften more toward this character and begin to understand her, and I guess to give her some level of complexity. However, I just couldn't stand her even at the end. So, what do I say? You might feel differently. You might not see this character that way. I found her annoying. So, and selfish. And just taking unnecessary risks that, I guess that was the point. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the book. But it was like so over the top. It was annoying. Again, all that being said, I'm reading book 2. So, you know what, Jessica Cage? You pissed me off with the character, but clearly you didn't piss me off that much. because I'm reading the rest of the books and I'll probably finish the series. So it's like I have a complicated relationship with this story. But you know what, guys? It makes me want to read more of her books because it elicited something from me. Sometimes you don't love everything about characters, in a story, and that's okay. This is one of those situations. Doesn't happen often, but she got me. And I like the complexity. I like being pulled in a direction I had no idea I wanted to be pulled into. I didn't know I was going to feel this way. I don't read too much beforehand, reviews or anything like that before I read a book. I purposely don't, because I like to go in with my own ideas. Also, people give spoilers in their reviews, right? Like me now. So I did read the reviews on Amazon, and one of them that stood out did talk about this, I think it said, like, I don't know, the sexual assault part. Like, what the frick? Like, you coming in hot with, like, a detailed scene of sexual assault. Honestly, I felt like that scene was more detailed than maybe some of the other situations throughout the book. It threw me. Not enough to make me stop reading it, but I was just like, wow, I can imagine somebody else, like, really feeling some kind of way if they're very sensitive to this topic. I feel like it should be like some sort of a warning about that. And it happens pretty early in the book. But I don't want to say if you can get past that. That wouldn't be the right way to say it. And that sounds a little disrespectful. But knowing that I told you that, you can read the book and, there's more to it than that. But for me, it was just, I am one of those people who are sensitive in that topic. There's certain things I don't watch. Like I can't get into SVU. I don't like that. And if you throw in anything, not that this book did anything with children, I'm out. I don't want to hear the story. Oh, it was a compelling story. Doesn't matter. Don't want to hear it. I don't need to read fiction of horrific crimes and sexual assault, kids, all that. Like, that's not for me. I don't find it entertaining. I can't get into it. I prefer to not read it at all. So, or watch movies or anything. I don't like stuff like that. So I guess I'm one of the people who's very sensitive to that. Cause I'll be thinking about that. Like once it's in my psyche, I'm like haunted by visions of it and stuff. And, I don't like feeling like that. So, yeah, spoiler alert, there's some situations early on in the book that might, like I said, be triggering. I'm shocked that I didn't see more comments about that. And like I said, it was explained away because she's a siren and da-da-da-da-da. She's, uncontrollable sexual urges. So, because she was turned on by that experience, they talked about that. But anyway, with that being said, I like the way Jessica Cage writes, like just the flow of the novel was very quick, easy to read. And I like that she left me hanging for more. So that was definitely a positive for me. I could keep up with the flow. It was very simple. Like once you're in, you're in. So that was definitely, and I guess that's why I'm into getting into the second book as well. I'll review more of her work. I don't know what else, the whole series, maybe not, but, another series or something else that she wrote. I'll be willing to review. I'm going full in with Jessica Cage. I'm not, just because I don't like something means, it's the most horrible thing in the world. I didn't particularly care for that one part. That was a little bit too much for me. But it's art, it brings out an emotion. It elicits something. And as artists, you want people to feel something, to hopefully enjoy it. But even if they don't, as long as you had a reaction, it's kind of a good thing. So, respect to her for that because she got that out of me. All right, so yeah. Oh, what did it have to do with witches? Yeah, so witches are in there. My issue with that is I felt like there wasn't enough dialogue about, again, I'm hoping to get to that in book 2, maybe, or 3. Does the witchcraft come in? I'd like to get a little bit more of that. So, yeah. That was a little disappointing. There's mention of it, but I don't know the whys. But I think book 1 is just set up for the rest of the trilogy. So I'll just take it there, take that much from it, and just keep reading, and find out, because now I want to know. So that's pretty much it, guys. The book I got on Amazon. I have Kindle Unlimited. So for me, excuse me, the book was part of my Kindle Unlimited, so I didn't have to pay anything additional. However, you know, if you want to buy the book, you know, I always say support. Jessica Cage is a black woman who lives in Chicago, from what I read. And I like some of the stuff that she's doing in Chicago. So I just wrote a little blurb on her, the author, and I thought, you know, cool chick. Like I like what she's doing. So I think that's part of the reason I probably really want to support her further. But yeah, that's it. So again, the Whole Foods are selling these signs, crystals for various Zodiac signs, and the book Sirens Called by Jessica Cage as well. So that is the end of the review for today. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. If you've already subscribed, I appreciate it. Seriously, thank you very much. And let me know in the comments if you've read this book, if you feel totally different if you've read this book. Did anybody buy this or see this at Whole Foods? I'm really curious. All right, guys. Thanks again. Bye-bye.